Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
In the year 2007, a man from the Netherlands, Eric van Sabin, walked into a room at a factory in Iran. He was an engineer. The room was quiet. He needed to find some machines and equipment. He put his tools down and started his work. Eric was a brave man and very focused on his job. But he could not know how dangerous this task really was. He started to work quickly. He wanted to finish and leave before anyone could see him. When he finished, Eric stood up. He wiped the sweat from his face. He left the room and continued his day. Nobody thought Eric was doing anything wrong. But Eric van Sabin was more than just the engineer he seemed to be. He was a spy, working for a secret government group. He had orders to follow. What he did not know was that his actions in that room had just changed the rules of fighting wars forever. Sadly, he would die less than 2 years after this day. This factory was not just any factory. It was the Natanz nuclear facility in Iran. This is where Iran worked on making nuclear fuel. Eric van Sabin had just put a special computer virus inside the computers there. Soon, this virus, a digital weapon, would be known as one of the most amazing computer programs ever made. It was part of a plan to slow down Iran's nuclear work. Because of this virus, a secret hacking group, helped by the United States government, was discovered after many years. This story is about what happens when governments use secret computer attacks. It is about one of the first major digital weapons used in modern times. It was a very big problem for computer experts around the world. The name of this digital weapon is Stuxnet. It showed that computer programs could cause real damage to machines, not just data. 2. A new problem. In the year 2002, a group outside of Iran revealed something important: a secret facility called Natanz. This facility was in Iran and was used for enriching uranium. Uranium enrichment is a complex process. It can create fuel for nuclear power plants, which need low-enriched uranium. But it can also create material for nuclear weapons, which needs uranium enriched to a much higher level. When Natanz was discovered, many countries, especially the United States, became very worried that Iran was working on weapons. The government in Iran stated that their nuclear program was only for peaceful energy, saying they would enrich uranium only to a low percentage. However, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the world's nuclear watchdog, was not fully convinced by Iran's statements. The United States government in Washington was even more concerned. They strongly believed Iran was secretly trying to build nuclear weapons. The Natanz facility was built with very high security. It was located deep underground, 8 meters down. The walls were made of strong concrete, 2.5 meters thick. To make it even harder to attack, they later added 22 meters of earth on top of the roof. This strong construction made it extremely difficult to damage or destroy the facility with bombs from the air or other military attacks. A direct physical strike seemed too risky or perhaps impossible. For several years before this, the United States had been trying to slow down Iran's nuclear progress through other secret means. These efforts included trying to sabotage Iran's equipment. They attempted to introduce faulty parts or give Iran incorrect technical designs. They also tried to disrupt the power systems used in the nuclear program. But these earlier sabotage attempts were often not successful enough to stop Iran's work in a major way. Iran continued to move forward with enriching uranium. Washington felt the situation was becoming urgent. If Iran managed to create nuclear weapons, it could significantly change the power structure in the Middle East and potentially lead to a major conflict. Israel especially saw a nuclear-armed Iran as a threat to its very existence. The United States was already involved in wars in other parts of the Middle East, like Iraq, and wanted to avoid another large military engagement. They needed a new solution, one that could be effective without a traditional military attack. They needed a way to target Iran's nuclear machines and slow down enrichment from a distance, or secretly from the inside. This led to a new idea. General James Cartwright, who worked in strategic planning, suggested a different approach, a cyber attack. This meant using computer programs and networks as a weapon. It was the start of thinking about a digital weapon to solve the problem at Natanz. 3. Making a digital weapon. A secret project began. The United States and Israel decided to work together. This project had a special name, Operation Olympic Games. The goal was to stop Iran's nuclear program without a normal attack. The U.S. needed a partner, and Israel was a good choice. Israel had experts in computers and fighting in the digital world. They had a special unit in their army called Unit 8200. These people were very skilled. The U.S. wanted Israel's help for several reasons. Israel had the technical skills. Also, Israel was close to Iran. This was important. Another reason was that if the project was found out, maybe people would think Israel was the main country responsible, not the U.S. The U.S. also wanted Israel to help with this project, so Israel would not start a physical war with Iran. To build a digital weapon for Iran's machines, they needed the same machines. Iran used machines called P1 centrifuges to enrich uranium. A man named Abdul Qadir had given the design for these machines to Iran many years before. The U.S. and Israel found ways to get some P1 centrifuges. Some machines came from Libya after that country stopped its nuclear plans. Israel also learned to make its own P-1 machines. Now they had the machines. They could test the computer weapon. They tested the virus on these machines in a quiet place in the desert in Israel. It was a secret testing site. They called the computer weapon the bug at first. The testing helped them make the digital weapon ready. It took time, but they were building something new and powerful. 4. The man for the job. The plan to hurt Iran's nuclear work needed a special step. The Natanz building was very safe. It was not connected to the Internet. This is called air-gapped. It meant nobody could send the computer virus from far away. Someone needed to go inside the building with the virus. The American and Israeli teams thought about this problem. They needed a person who could go to Iran and enter Natanz without looking like a spy. They looked for the right person. They found Eric van Saben. He was a Dutch engineer. Eric worked for a company that did business with Iran's oil and gas. This was important because he had a good reason to travel to Iran for work. Also, his wife was Iranian. This made him seem like a normal person visiting the country, not a threat. The Americans asked the Dutch intelligence service, the AIVD, to help. The AIVD talked to Eric van Saben. They asked him to do something secret for them. Eric agreed to help his country's intelligence service. It seems he did not know the full plan or how dangerous it was. Eric van Saben was the perfect person. His job and his family connections helped him. He could go to Iran, visit the Natanz facility, and not make people suspicious. This allowed him to get close to the computers inside the building. In 2007, Eric van Saben successfully went into the Natanz nuclear building. He was there for his work, but he also had a secret task. He brought the computer virus with him. He was able to connect it to the systems inside. This was a necessary step for the plan. Without someone like Eric getting inside, the virus could not reach the computers that controlled the machines. 5. The secret attack. After the secret man planted the computer virus, it began its work. At first, nothing seemed different inside the large factory. But the virus was not silent. It started by looking at the computers. It wanted to understand how the machines worked together. The virus made a secret map of the factory's computer systems. It learned about the different parts and how they connected. This map was sent back to the people who created the virus. They used this information to plan the next step. During this time, they found a weakness. The factory used special controllers made by a company from Germany called Siemens. These controllers helped run the machines that spun the uranium. The virus creators found ways to use problems in the Siemens systems. Then came the real attack. the virus used very powerful tools. These were like secret doors into the computers that nobody knew about. People call these zero-day exploits. The virus used 4 of these secret doors to get full control of the important computers. Now, the virus could tell the spinning machines what to do. It made them spin much faster than they should. Then, it made them slow down too quickly. This fast and slow spinning caused damage to the machines. Their parts started to break over time. The virus was very smart. While it was breaking the machines, it also hid what it was doing. It made the computers show the factory workers that everything was normal. The workers looked at their screens and the numbers looked fine. But the machines were breaking slowly. The secret attack was happening inside the factory. It was silent and hidden. The virus was working step by step, using the weaknesses it found and its secret tools. It was causing physical damage using only computer code. This was a new and dangerous kind of attack. 6. Chaos in the factory. A new president came to the United States. His name was Barack Obama. He became president in 2009. The secret computer plan, Operation Olympic Games, was working. President Obama decided to continue the plan. He also wanted it to go faster. In 2009, there was sad news about Eric Van Sabin. He was the engineer from the first chapter. He died in a motorcycle accident in Dubai. People thought it was an accident. No one believed someone hurt him on purpose. Inside the factory in Iran, the computer virus was still working. It was a secret digital weapon. It attacked the machines called centrifuges. These machines spin very fast to make material for nuclear power. The workers in the factory saw a big problem. The centrifuges kept breaking. Machines stopped working again and again. They were very confused. They did not know why so many machines were failing. The virus was smart. It damaged the centrifuges in different ways. This made it hard for the Iranians to understand what was wrong. It was like a puzzle they could not solve. Slowly, the people in the factory started to think. Maybe this was not just bad luck or old machines. Maybe someone was making the machines break on purpose. They suspected sabotage. They looked everywhere for problems. They checked the computers. They looked at the machines very carefully. They even fired some workers because they thought maybe they made mistakes or were helping someone. They added more security checks and rules. But they could not find the real problem. The computer virus was very good at hiding. It made the computer screens show normal information. The workers saw nothing strange. The problems did not stop. The attacks on the centrifuges continued for a long time. More and more machines were damaged. The virus broke almost 1,000 centrifuges. This damage was a very big problem for Iran's nuclear work. It made them much slower. The factory was full of confusion and broken machines. But the cause stayed a secret. 7. The virus escapes. In the year 2010, something went wrong. There was a small mistake in the Stuxnet computer code. This mistake was big because it allowed the virus to leave the secure factory in Iran. The Natanz facility was special. It was not connected to the public internet. But the virus found a way out. Perhaps it was carried on a USB stick that left the building. Once outside, the virus quickly spread. It used the internet to travel. Stuxnet moved from computer to computer around the world. It went everywhere, like Russia, India, Iraq, and other countries. The virus infected over 200,000 computers in different places. For about 1,000 machines that were like the ones in Iran, it caused real damage. When this happened, people in the United States government were not happy. They believed Israel was responsible for the mistake that let the virus escape. The vice president at that time, Joe Biden, was very angry. He said that the Israelis had gone too far. The U.S. worried that enemies would find the virus and use it against them. In the summer of 2010, a company that looked for computer problems found Stuxnet. They were helping a client in Iran whose computer was not working right. The experts at the company saw that this virus was very different. It was much more complex than any virus they had seen before. They gave it the name Stuxnet. Later, in the same year, Iran's president spoke about the virus. He said that a cyber attack had caused some small issues with their machines. But he said their experts found it. Before this, Iran had said there were no serious problems. Experts from different countries studied the virus code. They found clues inside it. Some clues were words or details that pointed to Israel. The virus was also very big and complicated. To build something like Stuxnet needed a lot of money and many very smart people, like a government project, not just one person or a small group. An American official, Gary Seymour, also made a comment. He said that they were happy Iran was having trouble with their machines. He added that the U.S. and its friends were doing everything to make things difficult for Iran. This comment was like saying that the U.S. was involved in the attack. All these things together showed that the United States and Israel were likely behind the Stuxnet virus. The secret digital weapon was now known to the world. 8. A new kind of war. After Stuxnet was found, experts looked closely at its code. They found interesting connections. Some parts of the code looked like code from a secret group of hackers called the Equation Group. This group was very advanced. People think the Equation Group might be linked to the United States Intelligence Agency, the NSA. This suggests that the U.S. had other secret hacking tools, perhaps even before Stuxnet. So, was Stuxnet a real success? The virus damaged many machines in the Iranian factory, about 1,000 centrifuges. It slowed Iran's nuclear work. Some people said it set back their program by about 3 years. But developing the virus cost a lot of money, maybe $1 billion. Was a 3-year delay worth that much? Iran continued its nuclear program using other methods and facilities. Today, Iran still has the ability to make enough enriched uranium for nuclear weapons relatively quickly. In this way, Stuxnet did not completely stop Iran's nuclear plans. It was a costly program with limited long-term effect. However, Stuxnet showed something new and important. It was one of the first times a digital weapon could cause real physical damage to a country's infrastructure from far away. It proved that cyber attacks were not just about stealing information. They could be used to break machines and stop operations. This changed how countries thought about war and defense. It opened a new door to digital fighting. The secret of Stuxnet was out. The world saw that these powerful digital weapons existed. It was like letting a genie out of a bottle, hard to put back. Developing these weapons is becoming easier and cheaper. As the world uses more technology, there are more places to attack digitally. This new kind of war, cyber warfare, is a serious idea for the future. It makes many people think about what could happen next. What do you think is the biggest danger of cyber warfare?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.